Hey Mario, how are you?
Doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. So how's the day so far?
Oh, not bad, man. No, it's all right for a Monday.
Wonderful, wonderful, Mario. So Mario, your debut self-titled album is to be out on May 5th. So would you like to tell me a bit about the songwriting and production behind this new album
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. What was the question? Just like about the songwriting and
and the production behind this upcoming album?
yes, sir. Yeah. Well, it's like some pieces that we've been working on for a few years, and some of the album, some of the songs that are featured on the album were like previously featured on like our demo that we released back in 2017. So this is kind of just like the natural progression of all of that. The more developed ideas that were on the demo, kind of more fleshed out. The production was a large portion of the album was recorded on like 2-inch tape, analog style, like at a studio here in North Texas called Palmyra. And yeah, it was we tried to do our best to kind of capture the stylistic sounds of the era of music that inspires us. So
Yeah,
yeah.
fantastic. And talking about the album, eight mind-blowing songs infused with the 70s rock and roll, with the modern music combined together, and it came out quite outstanding in each and every song. Totally mind-blowing. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you so
putting
much.
up an amazing album. I'll bring back a
Oh, of
lot
course.
of
Thank you.
memories back from the 70s. Thank you so much for that. As a band,
Oh, thank you for the kind words. Yeah.
as a band, how do you feel about the outcome of this album?
Well, we're just happy that it came through, like we started production like before the pandemic, and there was a few other like the first engineer we were working with, he's really really accomplished audio engineer, but he's a older guy, and he was diagnosed with prostate cancer like midway through the album production. And then on top of that, like our engineer got sick. Aside from that, there was also like a whole global pandemic. There was just a lot of hoops that we had to jump through. There was a few moments where we weren't sure if the album would ever be finished. So all in all, we're pretty happy that it's finally out there, and couldn't be happier with how things turned out with Rise Above. We're really glad that they were willing to give us a shot and put out our album for us. It being our first full length and all. So I mean, I'd say overall we're pretty happy with how it all came out. Of course, you know, I think most artists would agree that like an album is never really finished, and there's always things that we would have liked to have maybe added or done a little differently. But all in all, I think we're all pretty proud of how it all came out in the end.
Fantastic, fantastic. And any big plans on May 5th on the day of the release?
Well, that weekend we have a that Sunday of that weekend, which is May 7th. Here in Dallas, we have an album release party set up at a local record store called Good Records. Very old record store, very cool record store here in Dallas. And yeah, we're just gonna have like an album release party, and finally hopefully have the records in hand for all of our local fans to be able to purchase. And then later in May, we have a tour with our label mates, White Dog from Austin, Texas, other heavily 70s psychedelic rock influenced band. And we have a tour out to California planned for later in May. So we're looking forward to that as well.
Fantastic, fantastic. And any big plans when talking about touring? Do you have plans for getting to some kind of festivals or taking the band out of the United States?
Yeah, we're so currently we don't have anything planned right now, but the goal is to next year by like next festival season, maybe if if things are kind of line up, we'd definitely like to be out in Europe as soon as possible and reaching bigger audiences. And we've been fortunate enough to get some support from fans in internationally, like in Europe, like our demo that we recorded back in 2017. We produced a few like cassette tapes that we would sell online, and we were lucky enough to sell some to like fans from like Sweden and the UK, and hopefully when we kind of establish a little bit more of an international following, we would definitely like to make our way out there as soon as possible.
Fantastic, fantastic. And the history of the band goes way back to 2015 when it all started. So how has the road been for you guys so far?
It's been it's been a lot. We've had a lot of we've been very lucky enough to have a lot of very talented drummers in the band that have played with us for different periods of time. The first few years of the band it was just like myself and our bass player Tyler Davis, and we pretty much had like rotating drummers that were all wonderful in their own regards and had their own like musical backgrounds, but it took us a few years to find like the right fit, and but eventually we found the drummer that we recorded with, our friend Cam Martin. Is a great fit, and then we just kind of slowly like started adding to the sound. We added our second guitar player in about like 2018, I think, right before 2019 started. So then we expanded to like a four-piece like dual lead guitar sort of approach, which I think opened up our sound a lot. And yeah, it's been a bumpy road, but we've I feel like we've come a long way in the last, I guess, what, 7, 8 years now, coming on 8 years. So yeah.
Fantastic, fantastic. And I know there has been a lot of great moments over the years, but is there something special that you want to share with me today?
Man, really just like submitting our EPK to Lee Dorian and him getting back to us like the same day. That was a huge special moment for us. We really admire like Rise Above's artist catalog, and Lee Dorian individually, like his contributions to Napalm Death and to Cathedral. He's very accomplished. The man clearly knows good music and has been a part of a lot of great music. So it was um, very flattering that he was, thought kindly of our sound and thought enough of us to give us a chance. That was a pretty big moment for us. So probably the coolest thing that we've accomplished up to this point.
Fantastic, fantastic. And moving forward, do you see there will be a change in the type of music that you are creating, or will be following the same genre going forward?
Yeah, I actually like, so we have like new material that's kind of been coming together for like our second album, and there's been a noticeable kind of development in our sound. And I think some of that's evident in our first album. Like, there's a few songs, including like the last track that we released, Alpha State Dissociative Trance, which kind of is stylistically a little bit like the standout song on our album. And I think it kind of basically speaks to like our more recent influence in like more progressive music, and that's kind of been the direction that our new stuff has been taking. It's just kind of still fundamentally like blues rock, but with a lot more progressive elements and kind of characteristics of like busier sort of sounds of music. And so I think that's probably going to be the direction that the second album takes, is more prog.
Fantastic, fantastic. And finally, any message that you want to give to the fans in US and to the people who are going to listen to the music for the first time around the world? Do you have any special message for them?
Yeah, man. Drink lots of water, get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night, eat all your beans and rice, and seize the means of productions. And capitalism is a failed experiment, and socialism is the future.
Fantastic. And Mario, I want to thank you so much for giving me today this wonderful opportunity to have you on this interview. And thank you so much for putting up an amazing album this year. Amazing music, great sound is bringing back to 2023. Thank you so much for you guys for doing this awesome job. And I wish you all the best and hope to see you guys real soon.
Thank you for the kind words and for the thoughtful interview. And we appreciate you so much.
Thank you, Mario. Have a good day ahead. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.
You too. Take it easy.